Hello everyone, welcome to the new parts. So in this step or part we will do some modeling in the bathroom. So I will show you what we will do in this modeling part. So I will go to the references. So this is our three images of the bathroom. So as you see here, we will model this cabinet, then I will model this glass wall, then I will model this simple detail here, then I will go to model the sink cabinet, also the mirror. As you see here, we have a mirror and some stuff here. So to start this, I will go to Blender. As you see here, I need to go to the edit mode to extract something to start modeling from it. For example, I can extract this edge and start modeling from it, or make an extra loop here and select this face to start modeling from it. For example, I will duplicate it to make it a separate part, separate it by P. I will enable the screencast key and change the color maybe to black like this to be more clear. Then I will enter to the separated part, then set the origin to geometry. So I will make a separate origin for it. Then I will delete something, for example this edge. I will dissolve it by Ctrl X to make it one face. Then I will select this face and extract it according to the plan. So I will go to the top view, then extrude it to this limit. Now I need to make some details, so I will divide it to separates or each parts. For example, as you see in the reference here, that we have this detail. Also we have some doors here and some door for the bathroom. So 1, 2, 3. And in this image there is another part also. It's the fourth part, then the fifth part under the sink of the bathroom. So now I need to go to Blender and go to the top view, click 7, and I will enter the edit mode and make some extra loops. So I will make sure that I have 5 parts. So I will divide it to 5 parts like this and move this loop tool to this limit. So I have 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5. So now I need to move these 2 edge loops. So I will select this edge loop and see this edge loop and move it to this part. Maybe I will move this to this grid increment, then move this to this grid increment. Then I need to move this also here like this. So I finished with the parts. I will isolate this part to have better vision. So now as you see here in the reference that I have in the top of this toilet, I have this detail, 2 details here, and in this image in the 5th or the 4th port I have these details. So I need to, in Blender, I need to make an extra loop like this and add an extra loop like this. So also I will make this detail because I have it in the references. Then select all these loop tools to make bevel for it. So now I will bevel it. First of all, you need to apply the scale to not have a problem. Then apply bevel 0.002, maybe 2 centimeter, or it's a lot, maybe 0.002. Then I will select every face that I have details in. So I will select this to this by Control like this to have the short way, and select this to this, and select this to this by clicking Control. Select this, Shift, then Control to select this, select this, Control. Then I will select just this face here according to the reference, then select just this and this according to the reference. Then I will use the extrude manifold to not having problem when I extrude this part. So as I see in previous videos, that shortcut is Alt E. Click Alt E and choose the extrude manifold. It's look like SketchUp, so it will be so friendly and so familiar for SketchUp user. So I will make it -005 like this. Now I need to add some bevel like this. If you don't have any effects in the bevel, so make sure that you dissolve these faces, these edges, sorry, then dissolve these edges like this, and maybe I need to dissolve some of the edges also like this, and you will have your right, also these edges maybe, and you will have your bevel right done. Then I will change some settings in the bevel, like for the amount 0.02 and the segment 3, the amount 0.01, and apply shade smooth, also auto smooth, and in the shading apply harden normal. Also in the geometry change the patch to sharp to have better geometry. As you see here in the wireframe mode that we have better geometry. So now we are done with this. Now I need to add some small details. As you see here in the reference, we have some buttons for maybe configuration or maybe for the water of the bathroom of this little sink. So I need to enter the edit mode of this object and add 2 edge loops here and add an edge loop here. Then I will select this vertex. I will delete these edges, extra edges later, so I will just use it for placing the cylinder and this object. So select this vertex and Shift S to make the cursor to this part. So when I will add a mesh or any object, so we will be added to this place. For example, this cylinder, see, if I will add it to this place, it will add it to just where the cursor is. So I will scale it a little bit, then enter edit mode, delete this face and rotate it into 90 degree. Also I will go to edit mode and make the cursor here. If I want to duplicate this and select it, then click Shift S and selection to cursor. The duplicate one will be added to where the cursor is. So I will delete it after. So I need to apply some modifier. So first of all, I will apply the scale to not have a problem and apply a bevel. Get small amount 0.01 and increase the segment to 3. Also the shading to harden. So if you see here, you need to enable auto smooth in object data properties. So you need to go to object properties and object properties, normals, and auto smooth. To not having so long workflow, you can add this auto smooth to your quick favorite. So add it to your quick favorite. So if you see here that I'm already added to the quick favorite, so when I click to Q quick, I will check the auto smooth directly. So I need to apply shade smooth and it's done. Now I will duplicate it, then click escape, then Shift S to move it to the cursor like this. Now I'm done with this part. I need to go to the sink. I will do the same thing for it. For example, I will add an edge loop here and move it according to the 2D plan. And I will select this face maybe and add another edge loop here and snap it to the limits of this object. Then I will select this face and duplicate it. Shift or P to separate it from selection to work on it separately. Also don't forget to set the origin to geometry, and I will lift it up to make it as the reference like this. I think it's good. Also don't forget also to change always the origin. I will check from the orientation always check your normals orientation. So for me it's good, so I need to extrude it like this. Always follow along the plan to not having problems. Now I will isolate it. I have, as you see in the references, that I have a detail here, so I need to add it. So like this. Also apply the scale, then bevel this edge like this and apply an extrude manifold by clicking Alt E in this way. Also delete these extra edges to not having problem in the bevel modifier. Bevel modifier 0.002, add the segment to 3 and the geometry to patch and shading to hard and normal. Also apply shade smooth, and final step, it's auto smooth. Also I need to add the empty hole for the sink. So I need to enter the edit mode and add these two edge loops, one in this position and the second here. Then I will add my edge here and another edge here. Then extrude manifold this to the bottom like this. So it's done. Also with the bevel, as you see here, bevel. So everything is done with the sink. Now I need to add a mirror. As you see here in the reference, we have a mirror. It's very simple to make. I will model the mirror now. So I need to enter the edit mode of the walls, then select this face and duplicate it from the selection, separate it, and enter the edit mode and move this edge to this position and this edge to this position. Also this drop it down and give it solidify modifier and apply the scale and the offset to 1, and it's done. Also before or after the solidify, I will give it a bevel modifier. Also every time you need to use the bevel modifier to have more realism in your modeling. So in the details and 0.02, I think it's very appropriate for my case. I always use 0.02 for my bevel profile, so do it in your work. So now I'm done with the mirror. I need to model some small object here, so I will use some objects from previous modeling. For example, I will duplicate this object, Shift D, and move it by selection to cursor like this, and I will rotate it to be perpendicular to the mirror. Then I want to scale it a little bit, for example like this, but I want to scale it just into axis by excluding one of them. So maybe I will exclude X like this, Shift X to exclude the X axis from the scaling, and like this. Now I need to extract some geometry, so scale it by inset, select this face and inset it and extrude it like this. No, I will duplicate it and separate it from the selection, then enter edit mode and extrude it like this to be separated part. Now I need to duplicate this and rotate it in the maybe 45-degree minus and move it a little bit to the front like this and scale it in the midpoint. I will change the origin, the midpoint, and I will rotate it and scale it like this. So all this object has the same modifier, so I can in this case to join all these parts by select all these parts and click Ctrl G. Then I will duplicate this object in the second part, so like this, duplicate it here and rotate it as you see in the reference in 90 minus degree like this. So if I see from this place, I think that I'm finished with the sink. So I need to apply the scale, select all and apply the scale every time you do modeling in Blender. So now I need to model this part here, this little detail as shown in the reference. So I will select this edge loop and bevel it a little bit and just select this face and extrude manifold. So this is a place where when someone wants to have a bathroom and put his sinks in this part. So now I need to model the glass door under the bathroom. So I will show the wireframe mode and I will add maybe a cube. Add the cursor here by clicking on Shift and right mouse button add the cube and scale it like this and move it to this place. Maybe I will scale it in this X and I will see if in the right position, and drop it to the floor by clicking V by using the drop it add-on. It's a very useful add-on, so I will invite you to try it. So I will put the link in the description. So now I will want to make the origin to the bottom, and I will make the height of this class to 2 meters. So I will not make it to the ceiling because I want some space here from this top face to the ceiling. So I will use this height in this time as shown in the reference. Then I will move this to the second side by using the snap mode. Then I want to model something. I will separate. There is something separated between this door. This a fixed glass panel, and this is the slide door of the glass panel. So I want to separate between them. So I will apply the scale, then extrude this along normals like this, not so much. So I will decrease a little bit like this, 0.005. Then I want to add some details. So add this extra loops, then scale it in the Z axis to make it in this place, and bevel it like this. Then add an edge loop here. Also, I will add the same edge loop. So I will show you why I do this. I do this to have these details as shown in the reference. As you see here, we have these details where the panel is fixed in the wall. So I need to show it in the tutorial or the modeling. So I will use these faces like this, select all these and extrude it along normals. So select all these faces that I want to extrude it, go to this and extrude it along normals like this. As you see here, we have some problems. To solve this, you can check the offset oven or the offset even and decrease this 0.05. Now I can click in the empty space and return to the full mode. As you see here that I'm done with the panel glass. Now to finish with this tutorial, I will add the bevel modifier to this modeling, add the segment to 3 as usual, and the amount to 0.02. Finish. Maybe I think that I have problem changing geometry to patch, maybe 0.001, and the shading to harden normal. Apply auto smooth and shade smooth in the same time. I think I need to lift it up some height of this panel, so I need to lift it up a little bit like this, maybe in this height like this, because as you see in the reference, the mirror and the glass panel are in the same level. So I'm done. I think I'm done. So we are done with the modeling of the bathroom. So I think that the next step is to adding a material. So I think we are done with all steps of modeling. So the next step is texturing, maybe, if I don't miss anything other. Oh, I think that I missed some modeling in the bedroom, because in the bedroom I have some cloth cabinets. As you see here in the bedroom, we have these details, so I need to model it also. So I think that we have more modeling steps, so stay tuned. So this is everything in this video. I hope you like it. See you in another videos. Salam.